Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to take you along on a ferry flight from Oklahoma City to Greenville, South Carolina, where I deliver this beautiful 1971 Mooney Aerostar M20F. Alright, so I flew out to Oklahoma City the night before, got to the hotel, got a good night's sleep, and the aircraft broker picked me up from the hotel in the morning and brought me to the airport. The airport was actually having an air show that was starting up in like an hour or so like that, so I had to hurry up and get to the airplane, get everything pre-flight and get in the air, but got to see some cool airplanes along the way. If you guys are not familiar with the Aerostar Mooney M20F, Aerostar bought Mooney in the late 60s, and they only produced actually 12 M20F airplanes. So there's only 12 of these aircraft in existence. They're easily identifiable by that bulb on the front of the tail, as well as the rear of the tail is swept back a little bit. So if you guys ever see that, that's a special Mooney. They made some Fs, some Es, and maybe a couple other models, but there's only 12 M20Fs ever made by Aerostar. So super unique airplane and really good looking in my opinion. The M20F model of the Mooney, and same thing here with the Aerostar, is very similar to the model airplane that I fly. I own a Mooney M20E. The F just has a slightly longer fuselage, so you get a little more room in the back seat. But it has the same power plant, an IO 360, 200 horsepower, and a very similar airframe.
Alright guys, before we jump into the video, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Kubat Aviation. If you or anyone you know needs an aircraft moved or ferried for any reason, head on over to KubatAviation.com, check out our new website, scroll around, submit a question. There's a ferry flight request form on there you guys can fill out. Anything you guys need, we'd love to help you out. We'd love to hear from you. All right, back to the video.
Hey, good morning, everyone. From 9,500 feet above Oklahoma, we're on our way eastbound, flying this beautiful Aerostar Mooney M20J. Halfway decent panel in here. This is a non-WAS 430, GNS 430. Great engine monitor, I love it. No operable autopilot. Some things I'm noticing, this airplane, flight controls are much tighter than my Mooney. Not tighter, but just stiffer. Mine are tight, but these are stiff, which makes it a lot to handle maneuvering. But since we have no autopilot, it's kind of easy to lock in and just leave the controls where they're at. This thing's flying dead straight. We do have a couple of squawks that I'm noticing, so I'm going to land here in a little while, check the oil, check the fuel, just make sure everything's doing what it's supposed to do. I don't know this airplane, so I'm not trusting any of the gauges. And yeah, that's it. We're headed east. Fingers crossed, so far everything's going very well. Got VFR conditions out here over Oklahoma, nice and smooth up here. Catch back up with you guys in a bit. Peace.
Alright guys, just landed in Walnut Ridge, Arkansas. Got some gas. I got one of those. You seen these 737s? The red stripe, those Vegas planes. Those just push the airplane a half a mile, so I'm out of breath, but those are the planes that go to and from Area 51. It's pretty cool. Probably can't hear me because of the wind, because it is windy out here. We're gonna head in, go to the bathroom, grab a snack, get back in the air. Catch you guys in a minute. We got some snacks, some Gatorade, and I'll take you guys along for the rest of this trip. You can see behind me we've got a lot of haze. They're doing some controlled burns out here. It hasn't reached the airport yet, but kind of sucks to fly through, but I was on the way here, I could see that. And it stops at the cloud bases, so I'm just gonna go above those anyways. Should be clear weather the rest of the way on the way to Greenville. Fingers crossed. Airplane's running fine. And yeah, I'll set up some cameras and take you guys with me. There she is, Aerostar Mooney M20F. Honestly, the paint job on this plane is beautiful. The interior is wonderful as well. Panel's pretty good. Could use an updated GPS and an autopilot, but this is a just beautiful looking airplane, and it flies very true. Great flying airplane as well. Not as fast as my E. I got it by about 5 knots, true. But this has more space in the back seat, so what's the trade-off? I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna get back in there and head out.
All right, guys. Welcome to the cockpit of the Aerostar Mooney M20J. Going through my checklists right now. Throttle in this airplane is very sensitive. Call that good. Everything's in the green, 2 left. Good drop, 2 right. Good recovery, 1 left. Good drop, 1 right. Good recovery, a little more. Prop takes a minute in this plane, but it worked. Alright, power's coming back. Mixture's coming back. Prop, and throttle, we're all good. Flight controls. Flight controls in this plane are very stiff. Mine are much freer, but still tight. Alright, let's get going. Walnut Ridge, traffic Mooney, 6822 Victor on the ramp, taxi runway 13, Walnut Ridge. So yeah, guys, we started our morning this morning in Oklahoma City, and fairly uneventful. Went to the airport to pick up the airplane, and you know, everything was good. Great people on the ground. This guy Tony was helping me. Courtney actually picked me up from the airport. He's not even the seller of the airplane, just was helping me out. So awesome dude. And they're having a little air show at the airport, so I had to get out of there. Before noon, I had plenty of time, but they were getting set up. Everybody was out there practicing, so that's what you want on these ferry flights, uneventful mornings, and that's what I had. So I'm very, very happy about that. On departure, everything went fine, and the first leg went fine. I planned my first I could have gone a lot further on the first leg, but with an unknown aircraft, I don't know the oil burn. I don't know if this thing's calibrated correctly to tell me the correct fuel burn. I noticed that the fuel quantity indicators were very unreliable. So I planned a very conservative leg for my first leg. I landed at this airport to grab fuel. It is warm out here in Arkansas. I want to watch our CHTs, take care of this engine like it's our own, because engines are expensive. Alright, we've already done run-up, so once we get to the runway, we'll hit our before takeoff checklist and we'll get in the air. Feeling my brakes here, they're good. I'm not hearing any other traffic, I'm not seeing anybody.
Approaching runway 13.
Alright, we'll expect the engine to die on takeoff. When it does, we'll push forward, no hesitation, find a place to land. We've got a bunch of runways and tons of open fields here in Arkansas, so I'm just going to put it right down wherever I can, safely. Alright, let's get going. Landing lights coming on, mixture's full rich. Prop's full, I'll tighten that up a little bit. Everything looks good, let's get rolling. Walnut Ridge traffic, Mooney 68.
Approaching runway 1, entered runway 13.
Mooney 6822 Victor, taking off runway
remaining.
13. Walnut Ridge. This runway is a little rough, if I'm honest. So I'm gonna... Yikes. I'm gonna wait to give it power until I get over there. Alright, here we go. Now we got runway in front of us. 13 confirmed, here we go. Nice smooth application of power. A little bit of back pressure, keep that nose wheel light. Everything's full. Instruments are in the green, I like that. Airspeed's alive. He's bouncing this. I'm doing like a soft field takeoff here. Tap the brakes. We'll call that our positive rate. Gears coming up. Gear is up and indicating. We're on that right rudder. We're waiting for that engine to die. Tons of places to put it down. I would turn right and land right on that runway. Alright, flaps coming up. Flaps up. Walnut Ridge traffic, Mooney 6822 Victor. Left turn out off the upwind runway 13 will be eastbound. Walnut Ridge. Prop's good. I do notice that this airplane has the same engine as mine, but it, I think the induction system was improved in these later years, and I'm getting more manifold pressure out of this engine, so I'm getting more power down low and up high. Oh, this engine runs nice and cool. 383. I'm gonna pitch forward a little bit, give me a little more airspeed, cool it down a little more. Okay, boost pump is off, landing light can come off. Cowl flaps remain open. I'm gonna leave the mixture where it's at for now. And we'll continue our climb. Yeah, a lot of smoke you guys can see out the window here. They're doing controlled burns out the front. That stuff sucks, but luckily we'll be able to fly out of it, get up above it. So desired track, we're gonna go direct to, enter GMU 09 or 8. I'm gonna put that in here. Old school HSI. I'm more used to the G5s, but Alright, we know how to fly these two. Let's see what our actual track is. 099er, desired track 098. Back to the engine gauges. Temperatures are just fantastic. Memphis Center, Mooney, 6822 Victor.
Mooney, 6822 Victor, look for flight following.
Affirmative, we're just east of Alpha Romeo Golf. We're going to go to Golf Mike uniform, type Mike 20 Papa. We're going to climb up to 9,500.
922 Victor, Roger, squawk 1507.
Squawk 1507, Mooney 6822 Victor.
22 Victor, I guess I just picked you up. 22 Victor, you are radar contact. About 8 miles east of Long Ridge Airport. Maintain VFR Long Ridge altimeter 3014 south.
3014, maintain VFR 3000, climbing 9,500. 22 Victor.
22 Victor, Roger.
Yeah, guys, the transition into this Mooney, although it's the same basic airframe, Mike 20 Papa, same engine, the avionics are different, everything is different, so this flight was all about risk mitigation. Of course, this is a brand new aircraft to me. I have no idea the maintenance history. I have to take the word of the mechanic and the now owner. It's not IFR certified, which is a bummer, but even if this was IFR certified, without the correct equipment in it, I'm not going to blast off into IFR. Where it would be beneficial is if I needed to climb or descend through overcast layers, things like that, it would be really helpful for. But I probably wouldn't be shooting approaches unless it, I was really familiar with the avionics, something like that. But still, most likely not. So today is really clear weather, good weather, from here, basically all from Oklahoma City all the way to South Carolina. So that's why we did the flight today. On these VFR only trips, you can end up getting stuck, and it can end up being for quite a long time. I mean, especially if you're not IFR capable, the airplane's not IFR capable, you might just be stuck on the ground due to some local fog. Something that you could use, the basic IFR equipment to get out of. If the plane's not certified, you can't do it. So you need to account for that, and you need to make time for it. So this airplane runs really cool. I mean, it's hot out. I'm doing full throttle climb out. I'm not really doing anything special. I've got it leaned out. My hottest cylinder is 349. My airplane would not do that, for sure. Not a chance. But yeah, so risk mitigation, we did all we could today to mitigate the risk. Like I said, I planned a very conservative leg on that first leg because I didn't know if I could trust the engine monitor. Definitely cannot trust the fuel quantity indicators. They are definitely off, so that's a squawk that I'm going to report to the owner. And then I've been using this one here, estimate remaining, I don't trust that, fuel flow, used. So this is what I'm using. There's actually a flow meter under the cowl that's giving me that information, and that's what I'm using to manage my fuel flow, or fuel change procedure. And it was pretty close, so I landed, like I said, in that conservative leg, and I checked the fuel that I had put into the plane versus what this said I burned, and it was really close. So, and like I said, this is a really, really good flying Mooney. Up at 9,500 where it was smooth, I barely had to touch the controls. I trimmed it out real well, and every once in a while I had to do that. So I've also been tracking this whole flight on my Instagram, which is Tommy Flies a Lot. At Tommy Flies a Lot on Instagram. I post there more than I do on YouTube just because it's much easier to do. Found something nice about the airplane, figured out why the controls were so tight. It has a working PC system, so Mooney's used to have this thing called positive control. We actually had to depress the button to gain full control. You could fight it, which is what I was doing, but it's supposed to keep the wings level unless you depress that button. Mixed reviews on that. Most people assume they're broken like I did, so that's why I was fighting it. But that's what it was. It was the working PC system. My 1965E, my first Mooney, had that in it. And it was connected to a Britain autopilot that actually worked. That's how I figured it out. It's got the Britain, had a roll trim indicator. I was like, I wonder if that works. I turned it and the airplane started turning. So figured that out. It does have electronic trim. Like I turned on the altitude hold and it just pitched the plane up. So I shut that off. The other thing I did was I made sure I knew where the circuit breaker was for the trim. And it's actually not a circuit breaker, it's a little switch down here. So if I do get a runaway electronic trim, I can shut that off. And it's down there. Coming through 5,500 feet. But yeah, I'll touch base with you guys back when we get to cruise, and we'll talk then and then on landing. Catch you guys later. Alright guys, welcome back. Made it up here to 9,500 feet. So yeah, kind of boring up here. It says we have about 2 hours and 50 minutes left, which is a good length leg. But I'll show you guys some of the safety equipment that I have on board. Number one here is my CO detector. There's one built in, but I don't trust it. This is, I think, about 150 bucks. I keep it in my airplane whenever I fly. Never fly without it. If you guys haven't heard this story, look up the story of the guy in the Mooney who did not have one of these.
From 8456 November,
I'll spoil it for you. Spoiler alert. He ended up passing out. He didn't know he was getting carbon monoxide poisoning. Ended up passing out in the airplane and woke up in a field. So the airplane ran out of fuel and landed in a field. So anyway, that's just one story, but I never fly without that. I always bring it with me. I usually have my Sentry and everything on me, but again, this is VFR only, so it's not as big of a deal. But that's another piece of equipment. Something else I added is this this gas mask here. Flying these unknown airplanes, especially after this just got out of annual, so I have no idea what they did to it. If I were to start getting smoke in the cockpit, the filters on that are made to filter out smoke, and it'll give me at least a chance to get down. Without it, you know, if you start feeling smoke in the cockpit, you know, it's just as basically how long you can not breathe for. But with that, at least I might be able to get a few more minutes and get the plane on the ground somewhere safe and survive. So I've added that to my safety bag. I've got a bag of tools up here with just some basic tools. If I had landed at an airport that, you know, didn't have anything, I could change a spark plug if I have to. That's really pretty much it. Got a screwdriver in there so I can tighten a few things, but I'm not planning to do any major maintenance. If I was and I had the ability to fly, I could always fly to a larger airport with maintenance on the field and do it there. But got some windshield cleaner. I always bring some tie downs and some chalks and things like that in case I have to land somewhere in bad weather. I don't want the plane flying away. But pretty simple stuff. But yeah, other than that, not too much. Got overcast out that way. Luckily, we're not going that way. Hopefully, it stays clear ahead of me. They are reporting VFR ahead. But if I see an overcast layer, I'm gonna have to dip underneath it and just ride all the turbulence, which really is unfortunate about flying VFR. I do not miss this. If any of you guys are watching my channel and you're a VFR only pilot, get on that IFR certification. The feeling of, you know, worrying about a small overcast layer 2 hours ahead of me here forming, that sucks. Whereas when you fly IFR, it's pretty much carefree with regards to things like that. But alright guys, like I said, 2 hours 51 minutes until I get to my destination. Got a nice fat headwind slowing us down up here. We'll catch back up with you guys once we get closer to Greenville. Yep. Alright guys, quick update. We are, what is it, 58 minutes away from our final destination. This headwind sucks. We've had a 20-25 knot headwind the entire way. So we've been crawling at about 125 knots ground speed. But at least it's been smooth. What am I complaining about, right? But our next stop is GMU. We're 57 minutes away, if I didn't mention that. And looks like we have some clouds on the other side of these mountains, but I don't think it looks like overcast, so I'm not worried about it.
Wrong.
Like I said, it's been smooth, knock on wood. But we're coming up to our mountain crossing here, and right on the other side of that is GMU, which is Greenville, where we're delivering this airplane. So, final thoughts on the airplane. I mean, I like this plane. I am really partial to my E. I do like the extra space in the back, but man, do I love an E. I don't know. I get better performance out of the E. Maybe with the right avionics in this plane, get rid of the PC system, throw a GFC 500 in here, kind of free up the controls a little bit, get dual G5s in here. I might like it. But, you know, I prefer my E to this aircraft, but I'll tell you what, the interior is much nicer, and these seats, oh my god, they're so much more comfortable. This headrest here is dangerous. You pull this move right here, you could pass out. My wife would love this. This is so comfortable. She hates falling asleep in our airplane because there's no headrest. I should probably figure that out for her, but yeah, do. We'll touch base again once we get closer to Greenville. I'll bring you guys in for the approach and the landing, and we'll go from there. Alright, catch you guys in a bit. Peace. Alright guys, quick update. We're about 34 minutes away from our final destination. Unfortunately, they're calling overcast at 4,400 feet at our destination, and we're at 9,500 feet. And again, this is the exact reason why you want your IFR. It's visual conditions at the airport, 4,400 foot ceilings, but we're not going to be able to get down there because the airplane is not certified to fly IFR. So what I have to do is basically I have to fly, find a hole, and drop down through it, and then make my way to the airport. Hopefully that overcast layer isn't too widespread. It's very widespread to my right, which is to the south here, southwest, but I do see some holes out this way, so my fingers are crossed that I can find a hole that way. If not, I can come back this way and try to find one. The issue here is that I can't drop through a hole necessarily because we're over mountainous terrain, so I'm not willing to scud run it right now. Like I said, still in visual conditions. I've got airports I can actually see with my eyes, and so not a dangerous situation. It's just an unfortunate one, and we're going to work around it, work through it. So we'll check back up with you guys in a bit once we figure out what the heck we're going to do. All right. Yeah. All right, guys. You can see this overcast layer off my wing here. I found myself a nice long hole on the other side of the mountains, just on the back side. So I'm descending, like kind of perpendicular to it, and I'm going to turn, make a left turn and descend down underneath it, and then just fly low altitude, low, like around 3,500 feet the rest of the way. Yeah, I found myself a nice big hole. Nice big hole here. I can see these clouds have mountain waves in them, so I'm expecting to get beat up.
November 22 Victor, contact rear 118.8.
18.8 to Victor, see ya. Rear approach, Mooney, 6822 Victor, 6,200 descending with Lima.
6822 Victor, rear approach, altimeter 3022, good afternoon.
3022, good afternoon. Ooh, I like that hole. Yeah, I'm gonna pull one of them maneuvers there. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it right now. I think I can get under it. No, I can't. I gotta go this way a little longer. Gotta get almost level with it. I don't want to descend too fast. Although I will say, max cruise in this airplane is higher than the max cruise in the E, so we can cruise into the green up to 175 mile an hour. Alright, I'm gonna hang a right ski off my right wing. Look off the right wing, you can see the right turn I'm going to make here around this cloud. Coming down through 5,000. And I'm just going to dive her down. Yeah, buddy.
6822 Victor, I think you said you had information in Lima at Greenville downtown. Kilo. Actually, stand by real quick, you might be right.
Alright, direct to, I want a track of 09 or 9er. Right about that, so it's that way.
Approach altimeter 3022, you just set a maintain, sir?
Not as bumpy as I thought down here. Hope I'm not speaking too soon. And there you go, we're under the overcast layer, and we've got good visibility, well, pretty good visibility the rest of the way. So that was the hard part. That was the only part I was worried about.
Okay, sorry about that. I wish you could.
Alright, let's go do a. Whoa. Let's flew past a bird. Holy shit. Doing all the way up here. Get the weather real quick.
Tango, maintain.
2053, wind 0606, visibility 10, ceiling 4,600 overcast. 7240.15, altimeter 3022,
3022, good. Wind 060. We're landing runway 1. I've landed at GMU.
36 Juliet, group approach.
I don't know. Many times, and I've always landed
36 Juliet, squawk.
runway 1.
146. Number 6822 Victor, contact Greenville Tower 119.9er.
19.9. 822 Victor, see it. Greenville Tower, Mooney, 6822 Victor, about 12 miles to the west, inbound full stop.
Wind 6822 Victor Tower, make straight and approach runway 10. The wind 0907, altimeter 3021, runway 10, clear to land.
Cleared to land, runway 10, 6822 Victor. Alright guys, cleared to land, runway 10, after I just told you that I've never landed on another runway. I can see the runway out ahead of me, 10. Got the approach loaded up, just in case. That alarm is the gear alarm. Let me know to put the gear down. I gotta slow this airplane down before I can do that. Drop full. There's gear speed, gear's coming down. Gear is down and indicating power boost coming closed. Shows down there as well. Okay, gas is good. Undercarriage is down and indicating 2 places. Mixture's full. Props full. Runway in sight. Heading makes sense. Runway 10. Alright, let's land. Coming over downtown Greenville right now. Oh, this approach is really cool. Right over downtown. Alright, right about 85 mile an hour on final for this airplane. Feels good. Looks good. Alright, final gumps check. Gas in the tank I want. Undercarriage is down and indicating 2 places. Mixture and proper full. Switches are all set. Seatbelts are on. Runway 10 confirmed. Okay, gears down, gears down.
Wind 62 Victor Tower, we're gonna park.
Headed to tower parking.
That's right, left turn into Golf, left turn on Alpha, left at Alpha 5, back to tower.
Left Golf, left Alpha 5, over to parking. To the Victor, thank you. I'm at the SA maintenance ramp, right at Bravo 4, Bravo.
Bravo, cross runway 1 at Golf, left turn on Alpha, cross hit 28.
Cross 1 at Golf, and
Oh, we made it. I didn't realize we were still recording. All right, guys, thanks for coming along for this one. I got a lot to clean up, as you can see. I moved into this airplane on this long flight, but thanks for coming along. Don't forget to like and subscribe, follow me on Instagram, all that jazz. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.